what's awesome is that I've never met you guys in person, but I feel like I know you guys already.
Yeah,
So, you know, it's
for sure.
kind of like a cool thing. I mean, me and him connected right away, and then obviously you and I connected through him. When me and you connected on social media, I think we started liking each other's business pages first, which is not normal in our industry.
Yes,
there's a lot of like. Dude, there's this is not even a competition industry. Yeah. Like there are so many patients, like we should all be almost trying to just build the marketplace completely, you know?
Couldn't agree more.
And that's how it is, you know?
And that's a good approach for business in general.
Well, you know, it depends what business you're in. I mean, you ever read Blue Ocean Strategy?
I haven't. No.
Really good book. So something that Patrick Bet-David put me onto. Yeah. One of the 100 books he puts me onto is I read a book a month because of him. On top of the book a month that I already was reading anyway.
Yeah. I'm sure they're pretty good recommendations coming from him.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah, he doesn't do too well for himself. So Blue Ocean versus Red Ocean. Red Ocean, obviously, sharks eating each other and eating all the fish. Very crowded marketplace. Mm-hmm. We're still in a major blue ocean in our industry. Yeah. You know what I mean? So real quick, I want you guys to introduce yourself. People that are in the conservative movement will probably know who you are just because of your beautiful beard. So
nothing else.
But I'll have nothing else. But your beard is beautiful. So if you guys want to introduce yourself, please, for everybody watching. And
my name's Scott Otey. I own Summit Rejuvenation, and we're in the same industry as he is. And like he was saying, we kind of connected through just like each other's business pages. I say with what I do, I don't see guys like-minded doing it the right way, a wrong thing to like their pages and kind of benefit them and try to push them, because there's so many people out there doing it the wrong way. When you see somebody doing it the right way, man, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is, just because there's people give the TRT clinics a bad name because they do it so shitty. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not that hard to do it right.
Well, so you and I have a lot of similarities because neither of us are doctors.
Yep.
So we're business guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So how did you get into this industry specifically compared to anything else? Was it just a passion thing? Was it something you really enjoyed? Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing steroids the wrong way since I was 19 years old. So hormones have been my shit forever. I loved it. Yep. And then when friends would ask questions about it, if I didn't know, it kind of like bugged me. So I wanted to dig in, and I found that I was terrible with reading comprehension my entire life, with reading books and all that kind of stuff. With reading into the clinical data, like, I was able to read it and comprehend it, and it stuck with me. And I was like, man, that means something. That's awesome. And so everything that I read, I was in it. I was all in, man. So when I do something, I'm just all in with everything I do if I have a passion for it. And the body was so interesting to me, how it changes and how certain compounds react a certain way to certain people. Well, why do they react that way this way to this person, not this person? To trying to figure that out was like a puzzle, and it was intriguing as shit to me. So I just kept on digging with it. And then we opened some supplement stores, and then me and my partner John, who's outside. Mm-hmm. Supplement stores are cool, but you take a supplement, it's supposed to do X, Y, Z, right? Sure. With the TRT stuff, we take blood work, and I give you testosterone. It definitively does this. I can show you blood work proving that it does this. Yeah. And so that's the long-term game. It's what we want to do. It's more consistent as well. So
you get the real result. You have actual clinical medical data. I mean, that's what it's all about. Absolutely. That's amazing. Yep. Oh, that's sick, man. I mean, you and I have a very similar story. I was a bodybuilder for most of my life. 13 years old, started competing at 17. And I became what I consider you to be in autodidact and hormones. Yeah. You know, I did the exact same thing not because I started taking steroids at 19, because I wanted to. Yeah. And a coach who talked to me basically told me, he's like, you're going to go get your blood work done, and we will see if you need anything.
Yes. You did the right way. I did not.
Well, and again,
trial and error.
But good coach, seriously, because there's not a lot of those in the bodybuilding industry that'll say, you know what, let's do this the right way if we're going to do it.
Absolutely. This guy wasn't a traditional coach. The guy's name is Don DeVito. He's since passed away years ago. The guy was like 60 when I met him when I was a teenager. You know, but when he was prepping me, he's like, I mean, when we look at like FST7 and all these things like Hani Rambada stuff we're doing, I was doing that shit as a 15-year-old. Yeah. That this guy was telling me, I'm like, when I think about it now, I'm like, this dude was revolutionary. Like, he just didn't. Yeah. If there was social media, he would have been the guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know, he tells me to get my blood work done. Get my blood work done. My natural testosterone level total comes back at 1460. Mm-hmm. So at 19 years old, he's like, you're basically naturally on steroids. Don't touch anything until you need it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and basically from that point, I'm like, well, I'm going to be a pro bodybuilder, like every 19-year-old kid that's lifting weights, right? I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. Yep. You know, that's what we all want to think. Yeah. And then I basically start studying everything. I'm like, when I'm ready, when I need it, I'm going to know everything about it. And that's what happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's such a cool thing to see business people I mean, I'm sure doctors ask you questions because I have medical practitioners
every single day.
It's crazy.
Between that and proving them incorrect, it is an absolute wild experience. And then if you're not medical, if you know this, if you're not medical, trying to get the doctors to believe you is absolutely, it's just an insanely difficult task for them to believe you. That's why I'm lucky with our doctors we have. If we show them clinical research on it and like they trust us at this point to help them out and point in directions, they'll actually take our word for it. Like, so it's our business. Obviously, it's their license, but it's our business. So we're going to follow through as much as humanly possible to give all the clinical research before we make any changes. But if it's there, and that's why I think we do so well, because most doctors, I feel like once they become doctors, they kind of stop learning. And so we don't, I know I'm not a doctor. I know I don't know everything. And the literature is changing so rapidly because testosterone's getting tested more and more and more. You know, it's just, there's what doctors still think it causes prostate cancer. It's like, guys, that's been debunked for the past decade now. Just, what more do you need? You know
Morgenthaler just proved that a long time ago.
And the original research was in 1942 based on 4 people. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. You know what I mean? And
isn't that medical data in general? Like when we look at, some of the medical journals out there, it's largely very poorly sourced data.
I mean, it might have been great in 1942, but it's not 1942 anymore. You know what I mean?
You know, that sometimes that high degree of education brings a lack of sort of like humility. Whether consciously or unconsciously, like you think, I did all this schooling, and then here's this big medical establishment, and you think of it as this like fixed entity, but it's always changing. I mean, we don't know anything yet. We're still at the very beginning of understanding the human body and what we can do with it, with the right information.
Sure.
I think that's a major problem. And that's why you see clinics like ours flourish, because people are getting tired of being told the same things by doctors, and they go somewhere else and they get incredible results.
Well, and you guys probably get the same thing at Summit that we get at Aspire. It's probably the same thing like, I've been going to a doctor trying to solve this problem for X amount of years or X amount, right? We get the same conversation.
Probably 50% of our patients.
Absolutely wild. Well, I'm taking a shot every 21 days. I'm like, you can Google the half-life of cypionate and see that at 7 days. How any educated human being can give you one every 21 days is absolutely beyond me.
Yeah.
But then it goes back to the story because they're controlled by insurance. So that's why we don't take insurance. You know what I mean? That's because they're being told what to do, which the fact that insurance companies are regulating what doctors can and can't do is absolutely asinine to me in the first place.
Well, I mean, I don't have tinfoil hats in this room. I have them up in my office over there. But,
I got one.
I travel. It's like one of the sailor hats that you fold. But we know, and for all of you watching, probably can guess that, big pharma and medical education and insurance companies, they're all kind of the same people. It's all kind of the same group of people.
They all play golf together at the very least.
It's all about money, right? And I mean, even you go into the FDA and big pharma, the big pharma execs, that's where they came from. FDA.
And they go right back when they're
That's not coincidental. That's by design.
I think now more than ever, you're seeing a world where people are at least slowly starting to realize that. I think 2020 to 2022 shook a lot of the confidence, like the blind confidence that people had in the medical establishment as a whole, because they were so wrong. Let's say
questions. You know what I mean? Now they're not just blindly going into, like you said. At least they're asking questions now. Which the doctor can't. If you ask a valid question, I just dealt with this with my wife and Nick Hughes. We had a kid a week ago.
I saw. Congratulations, by the way. I appreciate that. Very, very beautiful kid. I mean,
we're
congratulations.
Lucky. We're lucky as hell, man. We're extremely blessed.
Number 3, baby.
All things that could go wrong didn't.
Yeah.
So we're extremely grateful and blessed for that. But there's a lot of doctors that were saying certain things. Like I was asking logical questions, and if you ask a logical question as a concerned parent or concerned anybody, and they just can't give you a simple logical answer, that's going to make me question you even more. You know what I mean? And just if you're doing XYZ procedure for a certain reason, well, why are you doing that? If you can't give me a reason, well, then why are you doing it? If you don't know why you're doing it, why are we doing it? You know what I mean?
Because the computer told me to do it.
Exactly. And then that's what it is. I had doctors telling me that, the liver function is not affected by hydration. So I was like, I know that to definitively be incorrect. So now everything you're saying to me, in my brain,
I don't want to believe
void.
You.
Yeah. Exactly. You know what I mean? So
very much
that was a very big deal because my wife, stress didn't help her at all. So I didn't want to question the doctor in front of her because it added more stress to it. So it was one of them fine line type things. But it just gets really frustrating. You know what I mean? When the doctors are supposed to be here to do XYZ for you and you ask a question why they're doing it and they don't know.
Well, I mean, a lot of the medical profession, unfortunately, again, because of who writes the textbooks in medical college.
Yeah.
They're coming from big pharma. They're funded by big pharma.
It's a game of connect the dots and not look at the big picture.
Well,
it's like
really easy to connect
symptom drug and instead of symptom cause, or some other factors. It's okay. They're exhibiting this, and a lot of times they even cut corners on that. You had that where it the definition in the CDC of what this doctor was saying was it had to be all three of these things, and it was one of them or two of them, and they were ready to go ahead with a diagnosis, and it was like, no, that's not. We don't have the criteria for it, and you're ready to move forward. It's
they're treating a diagnosis that she wasn't even truly diagnosed with yet. Yeah. So I was like, well, whoa, guys, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then I said, dehydration part, let's get her hydrated. Well, they got her hydrated within 4 hours. Holy shit, her ALT went down 30 points. Big fucking shocker, guys. She dehydrated. She didn't drink in 12 hours.
Weird.
It's so weird.
Weird how that works.
Diagnosis real quick. Water helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So water, sunlight. Weird.
So weird.
We are animals.
Yeah, that's right.
So going into 2020 to 2022. Please introduce yourself, because I feel like that's where people would know you from.
Yeah. So my name is Ian Smith. During the 2020 to 2022 period, I owned a little gym in New Jersey, and I was a brand new business owner at the time. Been in the fitness industry for years. I worked in every position that you could think of, from cleaning the toilets to selling memberships to being assistant general manager of a 24-hour fitness. And I finally went off on my own, went to be a personal trainer. It's what I loved. I loved like the hands-on approach. I loved the just everything that comes out of being healthy. I lived a pretty just sedentary, I wouldn't say unhealthy, but just boring life up until my 20s. And I really didn't push the envelope on what I was capable of. And that's where I fell in love with fitness. So I was a successful personal trainer and had the opportunity to buy a gym. And 9 months later, the whole country shut down. And we weren't happy with the idea originally, but we did. And once we started paying attention, again, we started asking just logical questions about what we were being told at the time. We were being shown a lot that was really scary.
What state was this in?
New Jersey.
So for those of you that don't know, New Jersey and New York, both of them, 2020, they were pretty heavy-handed. Yeah.
Oh, very. I mean, it was absurd the lengths that they were going to keep people just sort of compliant with this, and they weren't willing to answer any questions. And hey, I'm willing to go along with things if it makes sense, and if it's for the greater good. But once we started asking questions, it was very, very clear. As long as we just didn't look to them, because they didn't want to answer any questions. We looked around at the science, and it was very clear that we were being, at the very least, misled. So we decided to open our gym up, and it started it opened a Pandora's box.
A little bit of a tip.
A little bit of, we got into a little bit of a disagreement with the state of New Jersey. It was a 2-year saga where it was like a tit for tat, where they would, they'd write us some tickets for staying open, and then we'd kind of rip them up and open the doors anyway. And then they started, escalating the situation, and it got really, really out of hand. They wound up fining us a couple $1 million. We were being fined $15,497.76 per day for every day that we were open, for a gym that wasn't charging membership at the time also, which is a gym. So you're a business guy, gyms aren't doing that kind of money.
No.
At least not single, maybe like the chain of Planet Fitness has that kind of revenue coming in. Not anymore.
Not anymore. A bad example.
Maybe a lifetime. But so that sort of launched me into a whole nother trajectory. We made it out of that fight, and on the back end of it, I ran for Congress. Stupid idea, but it was. It
was with good intention.
It was with very good intention, and there was a lot of mistakes I made. If I would ever do it again, I would be much more involved in state politics. I went for the federal level. I learned a lot about politics, namely that the majority of both sides really don't care about us. And then I moved on from the gym, and I ran into my partner here, Scott. The way that we met was pretty funny. He had reached out, like a lot of people did, just to show support, and people were very good to us during that time. Sure. Extremely. We would not have been able to do what we did was it not for the collective support of everybody, whether it was people showing up at the gym, people writing letters, sending messages, offering any sort of contribution they could, whether it was donating stuff, like we had people offering to come clean the gym for us, everything. So it was really a collective effort, and Scott and I had sort of chatted back and forth, and on the back end of it, he messaged me, and we started chatting again, and he said, hey, that offer still stands. And I didn't remember the conversation, but he said, back whenever we had first chatted was, hey man, like, I'm not affected by this, but as a small business owner, like I genuinely appreciate what you're doing.
What you're standing up for. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I can ever help you out, let me know. And I own a clinic. If you want me to just run your blood work, see how you're feeling, like it's on me. And at the time I was just really just beat into the dirt from 2 years of stress, just was not feeling like myself in any way. And I took him up on his offer, and in 3 weeks he had me feeling like a new man. Sure.
What did you need? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, I was sort of like self-medicating, TRT myself, and just totally doing it like an idiot. Like, oh, I'm just gonna up my dose because I don't feel well. You know what I mean?
Got it.
It was just a very like rudimentary. I really wasn't paying attention. And Scott did a couple things. He lowered my dose probably by about half. And he put me onto something that I didn't even know was possible at the time, microdosing using an insulin needle.
Yep. Yeah. So dose frequency.
Yeah. Dose frequency. And for me, like I never liked harpooning myself.
Yeah.
In all the years that I've used PEDs, I when I was competing in strongman or whether I was just on TRT, I hated it, and it would mess up my shot frequency, and it was just not a pleasant experience for me. And he turned that and a couple things around. I think he gave me some D3, and I felt like
vitamin B, some DHEA.
Yeah,
pretty simple stuff.
It's all
simple
stuff, all very basic
and I was so blown away by just how genuine he was. He didn't want anything from me. Like a lot of people, and this isn't, to sort of throw shade on anybody's name, but a lot of people wanted to help, but they wanted something.
Sure.
It was, let me send you something so you can show it on your 500,000 followers.
It wasn't a genuine.
Yeah. Help. And that's cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate anybody who reached out, but Scott didn't want anything. Yeah. And he was just like, yo man, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah.
And we started chatting a bit, and we got closer, and I started referring some people, and I really just I was so blown away by everything that they were doing at Summit. I'm out in St. Louis sometimes, and I work with First Form. I'm a First Form athlete, so I was out there, and we grabbed a steak dinner. And I just took a tour of the clinics, and kind of was just like, hey man, I love this.
Yeah.
And I want in.
Yeah. Of course. That's how it works. That's how it goes.
We were he was at the very infancy of being able to have a telehealth program. Gotcha. And I said, I want to help you with it. And right there, we shook hands. It was immediate.
That's awesome.
And we were off to the races. We're 2 years in on that handshake now, right about. So.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. I mean, like your guys' story. That's how business is really done, right?
That's how business is supposed to be done. It's a handshake and not try to, you know what I mean? It's how it's. And the thing is, like he was saying, it was all just genuine. It all happened just genuinely. It wasn't nothing forced, nothing pushed, nothing like that. You know what I mean? And just that's why it makes it even cooler.
Yeah, but I mean, like in business, like I assume you being in business, it wasn't all perfect and hunky dory and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of right. And you too, and same thing, And like one of the biggest things that I always noticed about when I was coming up in business was the amount of people just trying to just fuck you over.
Yeah.
Well, it's just business. No, it's just you being a dick.
I hate that. I hate that line of like, it's just business. I'm like, no, you're actually being a bad person. Like you're trying to screw people over
with intent.
And it's funny. I never went after anybody personally that tried to screw me over. I just kind of separated myself, and I was always very cordial and polite. And every single one of them got karmic whiplashes, like a mother, dude, like bad. You know what I mean? And I don't wish ill on anybody. I'm not that person.
Yeah. I won't feel bad for you though.
I don't want that. No, but I'm not gonna cry for you either. You know what I mean?
Won't lose a whole lot of sleep for that one.
Yeah. So I mean, like if something very very tragic happened to somebody, like I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't.
But if you go bankrupt, I'm not going to shed a tear for you.
No. But it's that's something where I think so many entrepreneurs have a similar experience.
Yeah.
And nobody really talks about it like, no, it's actually not normal. It's actually not normal. It's not good. That's not how business is done. And when business is done the right way and in a positive way, everybody flourishes.
I was just about to say that. When you do it the right way, it doesn't, you don't have to screw people over to be successful and to flourish in business. Yeah. Competition or otherwise. Like you don't have to have that approach where, you've got to beat people by any means necessary. It's
a race to the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a race to the bottom.
What do you think is the deal with how our industry is treated? So like in the clinic industry, so the people that follow my channel, the people that know who you guys are, they know what industry we're in, right? So they know that we're in the medical clinics. We deal in hormone therapy, wellness, anti-aging. That's what we do. You know, so that's our thing. Why is it so catty?
I think there's so many people that get into this because you can make money doing it, and they're incompetent in the first place, and they feel like that they have to be because they really don't know what they're doing. And so if they open up and get close to somebody that knows what they're doing, that's gonna be exposed. And they personally probably would do some pretty shady shit if they did find that out. I mean, I wouldn't, because I said I don't wish ill will towards nobody. However, if you get close to somebody and realize they're doing some pretty shady shit, because I mean, in this industry, there's a lot of those people. And if I see somebody doing it good, what's that guy's name? I think he owns Core Medical, Sig, I think his name is Sid. They're doing this. They seem to do the right shit. I do the same thing. I try, hey man, you're doing good shit in the industry. Blah 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 blah. Like, there's a zillion freaking people out there that need anybody over 30, 35. There's a pretty good solid chance you're going to need some hormone therapy at some point in time. There's plenty of people out there. So to see somebody doing it the right way, taking that time and effort to do it the right way, because if you do it the wrong way, somebody's a bad experience, they're never going to go do TRT again.
And hurt the market overall.
Exactly. So the more people do it better, it's better for everybody.
All the shadiness that's happening, all the shadiness happening in the industry. One, it hurts the industry. Two, when I see these people doing this shady shit, I'm like, do you understand how quickly you can go to prison?
Well, you're messing with somebody's body, and it's somebody's life. You can severely mess somebody up forever. Like, how would you sleep at night knowing you screwed somebody up, or you screwed up somebody's marriage because this guy was taking a wrong dose and was getting an asshole and ended up being an asshole to his wife and whatever it may be. You know what I mean? It's just that's a real thing, and you can ruin somebody's life.
That's one part of it, like the misdosing and like not doing a good job, right? I understand that. I understand like you shouldn't be in this industry not doing a good job, right?
Yes.
I'm talking about the blatant, massive overdosing, bodybuilding doses coming out of clinics that are basically selling, underground steroids out their back door. There's a lot of them. And there's some big names that are doing it.
I think that goes back to them being incompetent, them not knowing actually how to dose anybody properly with proper dosing. You know what I mean? As far as shot frequency, everything else. Because a clinic that in our area in St. Louis, they'll give somebody one shot of 400 milligrams a week before they'll spread the injections up. It's like, guys, if they're metabolizing at a faster rate, 400 milligrams is not going to help that not metabolize slower. I mean, guys, and this is doctor owned. The doctor owns this. It's like, why don't you split their dose up a little bit and just make them feel better instead of like shit for the next 4 days after you do an injection? It's mind boggling because I think a lot of places just really are incompetent. So the more milligram, the better. You know what I mean? That's their thought process. And it's really not. It's not at all.
And I think that the shadier aspect of it, right? You have the sort of not doing things well. That's a whole nother discussion. But I think that like the shadier aspects of it are a symptom of like larger laziness, where it's like they want to make as much money as possible very quickly, right? And this industry can attract it. It is a profit. It's a profitable industry.
You make a lot of money doing this.
Yeah. And I think sometimes, especially like when something newer, you're going to attract those people who don't have those values where they care, where it's like, they may be coming from something else where they made a lot of money and they think that they have like a license and they're like, it's almost like this bulletproof feeling. Right. And that just, it's going to attract those people, especially I think in the beginning of any industry, and they'll weed themselves out. I mean, or they'll get weeded out by any of the three letter agencies, and good.
Well, like I tell my medical director all the time, who's also a partner in the corporation that owns my clinics, right? So I'm like, these guys aren't here for a long time. They're here for a good time.
No, they are.
They're here for a good time to make a shitload of money as much as they can and doing some shady shit. And then either one of a few things is going to happen. They're going to get shut down and fined, or they're going to go to prison.
Well, if you think about it, most of the people that their owners or the people know who the owners of these clinics are, they're doing shit the right way. If you notice that, they're not concerned about showing their face. And a lot of other places, I won't say any names, you have no freaking clue who owns the place. Well, why is that? Why wouldn't you be proud to be helping people?
That's a weird thing.
It's a common thing that most places that seem like they're doing it legit. Their owners.
I mean, I'm proud to be a partner at Summit Rejuvenation. That's something I wear as like a badge. That's because of the quality of the work we do, and that I think that says something when you're willing to put your name on something. Because it means that there's a certain responsibility that comes with that when people know what you're doing and also who you are.
Well, it also gives you a level of accountability too. Exactly.
If
something starts getting like, you guys aren't in there doing the grunt work every single day. I hope you are a little bit too much, but it's fine.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
You will eventually segue a little bit away from that,
yes.
for sure. But you know, when that happens, like if you guys see something happening, you're gonna be like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Because you are ultimately going to hold that responsibility on yourself, because I built this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like you guys probably have this. You probably have seen this where you have people that want to come in and partner with you and things like that.
It happens.
I deny partners constantly.
He was out of all the people, like it was with him, it was a no brainer for some reason. So we connected very, very easily, very, very well. We can just tell we vibe very well.
Yeah.
So it was a no brainer, but man, we get asked all the freaking time to do it. It's just like, man, I'm not, we don't need the money. We don't need anything now. We're finally to a point to where we don't need money. At the very beginning, you know, you need everything. So like you're willing to take on anything to get it done. And we've actually, because we first started, I had more partners. We ended up buying those out after we got to a certain point. Cause if you don't bring anything but money to the table, well, then I don't need it. You know
that was my first partner that I had when I left, the clinic that I originally built, which I was not the owner of. I accidentally became an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I never wanted to own a clinic. I never had any desire, you know, but I obviously I'm going to either go back to law enforcement as a cop for 12 years, you know, or I'm going to try to do this clinic thing. And I learned a lot of things, how to do the right thing.
And how to do the right thing.
I learned how to, I learned a lot of shit.
More valuable, I think.
I learned a lot of shit what not to do, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, committing multiple felonies a day is not a good thing to do.
No,
what I understand,
you're gonna get caught doing that eventually, and that's not
it's a numbers game.
Not
a good one either.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I mean, like when I left that clinic to go start my own, the day that I left there, I drove to the DEA office to give my statement, which I was told to do.
Yeah,
you know. That's a nerve-wracking feeling.
Absolutely.
From one side of the law enforcement table to the other side in less than a year.
Very quickly.
In less than a year. And I'm like,
and federal law enforcement is that's not something. I mean, that's what I don't understand about some of these people. Like it's. I guess you're blinded by, you know, your own sloppy sort of desires, but you know, this is nothing to mess with on a personal level. Like Scott said, you know, you're dealing with either helping or hurting people.
Well, you can really hurt somebody with this stuff.
But also, you know, if you're rolling the dice with one of the most powerful organizations in the country, like they will figure out at some point what you're doing.
If they want to, they will. Easy.
Yeah, and they will maybe 10 years after you did it too. Like
I worked with the federal agencies. I know how they work.
It doesn't go away. Like they don't. There's no expiration date.
It's been 7 years. We're gonna wipe that one clean.
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
So it's the fact that you would even approach something like this to me is, I mean, that says a lot about a person. You know, just in terms of their character, but you know, like. In terms of their intelligence as well.
Yeah.
Why would you risk something like that? You have a very good thing on your hands that if you nurture it and you do the job properly and you do what you're supposed to do, you will absolutely flourish in this industry, in any industry.
Just do the right thing. You know what I mean? Just do the right. It's not that difficult. Just do the right thing and don't do shortcuts, because shortcuts is other people's lives.
Well, you know, and I think it's a societal thing too. I think people are so used to this new way of thinking where it's now, make the money now. So they will cut any corner they can.
Yep.
People don't want to put in the work, especially in entrepreneurship. I mean, people want to be successful now because Instagram told them to. Yeah, Instagram told them that everybody on Instagram's rich, right?
Loaded.
Half of this is bullshit.
You heard a conversation on the way here.
Half I think is a conservative.
Yeah. I mean, you go on some, like I know some of these people. They're here locally. I see them around. And Orlando has a lot of wealth. Orlando has a lot of money. I don't know why, but it does. There's a lot of business here. You know, I lived in Tampa Bay as well, and everybody's like, "Oh, Tampa Bay is up and coming." This and that. I'm like, guys, there's money in Orlando, like money.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the most traveled two cities in the world.
Yes.
You know, for
Big
starters.
corporation. The guy just walked by as a billionaire. The guy just walked by, by the way, multi-billionaire. You know,
when you're driving in all these corporate offices, there's you know, that's usually a sign that there's some business in the area.
You have these guys that are, you know, renting a Lamborghini and putting.
Were you in the car with us on the way here?
What, did you guys see it?
No, we would have this exact conversation about renting, like for the day, not renting, not leasing, like renting the car for the hour of some sort, because you can afford 2 hours.
Listen, there's this clown that I know. I hope he watches this, because I actually can't stand the guy. I will, like, if you ever see the guy like where you come up to somebody and you're like, you don't like them, but people will still shake their hand.
Yeah.
This is the kind of guy that I will have my hands at my sides and I will look at him and then I will walk away.
Make it blatantly obvious.
That I do not respect you, number one. And number two, I don't like you. I don't want you. I don't even want your energy around. I don't even want you to touch me, because I feel like you're going to infect me with your shit.
I don't want anybody to see me shaking your hand.
No.
I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression.
I don't like that, you know? And I mean, I will feel that way until they prove themselves otherwise. You know, because if I see you do some stupid, shady shit and I hear a bunch of stuff and I know it's true, I will no longer respect you for that reason. You're going to have to earn that back.
That's
Everybody has my respect in the beginning. You lose it if you fuck up.
Absolutely.
And then you have to really earn it back.
I agree,
you know?
100%.
But I mean, you know, people renting Lamborghinis, putting their decals on there, their names on there and shit like that. And I'm like, I know that's a rented Lamborghini because I know the guy who owns a fucking rental company. I'm like, what is going on here? But like, you know, people think this Instagram culture is, people are so tied to this bullshit, right? And they're like, everybody's rich, everybody's making money. I'm like, they're not. There's a lot of brokies out there that are posing to have money.
Well, I think people get these numbers get thrown around so much, like $500,000 a year ain't just like $500,000 a year is a shit ton of money, and people are getting so used to hearing $1 million a year, this and this and that. Like,
if you're netting if you're netting $500K a year, you're fucking making a lot of money.
But people get so used to it, they almost get like dumbed down that these guys, well, I'm making $1 million a month doing this, doing that. People don't think that 250, 300 grand is a lot of money. It's like, guys, that is an asinine amount of money to make per year. The average, what's the average salary is like, or the average household base like 66 grand a year or something like that. I'm like, I'd say 350 is doing pretty damn good. You know what I mean? I mean,
you're 5xing that. Social media is such a weird thing because it's such a, it's been such a powerful tool and a positive tool, but then there's this whole other aspect to it that I think like so many people use social media very unconsciously, right? They're just not thinking about what they're consuming and what they're following. And you're, you know, at the end of the day, you're being fed content. It's not, social media isn't like it used to be where things appeared sort of chronologically. So you just saw everything that, you know, was posted.
Well, do you see your followers? You don't see shit from your followers half the time.
Exactly. It used to be like that, you know, and then now you're like, you have to realize that you are being fed something. Like, you know, so what are you being fed and how much control do you have over it? And there's this whole world of social media where everybody wants to pretend like business is easy. And the truth is, being in business is the most rewarding thing I've ever, probably the most rewarding decision I've ever made was to go off on my own and be a businessman, you know, in whatever capacity it started and wherever it leads. The single best decision I've ever made. But to tell people that it's somehow going to be easy is just a gigantic and very detrimental lie, because business is hard. If it was easy, it wouldn't be as valuable and as much of a blessing as it is, you know, because that's just the way things work. Everything comes with a cost. To be in business, to be successful in business, there's so much work that is not glamorous, so much work that is tedious, that is boring, that is discouraging. There's so many obstacles. And to get on a, you know, on a microphone or on a podcast or in front of your, you know, your phone screen and tell people, especially young entrepreneurs, that this is somehow going to be the easiest thing you've ever done it's a very damaging lie, because it sets people up for sets people up for really bad expectations, and it leads them down a path where they're going to lean in that direction, where they're going to have that mindset, and they're going to be like, oh, well, if it's easy and I don't see a way to make it easy, I'm just going to,
something's wrong with me.
Or let's just cut the corners here. Let's just do something shady, because I'm being told by everybody else that this is really easy. I can't figure it out. So let's take that route.
There's also that mindset of people that are, you know, talking about money, right? I'm big on talking positively about money. Money will shy away from you if you talk negatively about it. That's what I think.
I agree with wholeheartedly.
You know what I mean? You have to attract money to you. So your attitude towards it is very important. What I hate is when I see people that badmouth money or rich people. It is the worst mindset to have, you know? So you have this crowd that truly hates money because they feel like they can't get it.
That's exactly right.
So that they have that one side.
And thus they never even try to go after it.
No, but they'll badmouth it all day. And I'm like, well, yeah, but money's going to avoid you. It doesn't like you. It doesn't like you. You're making it push away from you.
You're being rude to it. Therefore, it's going to be rude to you.
It's going to be rude to you, yeah. So, you know, but then you have like, what I can't stand on the other side of it is what you said. You have these people that are saying it's so easy to be an entrepreneur. These are people that are usually selling the coaching programs like, you know,
the coaching.
I did this, I did that.
Like,
look, I have
a
1 million followers.
Look at followers.
You bought 980,000 of them.
Look at my Lamborghini rented.
Yeah.
Look at the jet. You know, if it is a real jet, did you see the Instagram models that were in the fake jet? Best thing ever.
That's what
That made me so happy.
That's a great business idea, though.
Made me so like, oh, the photographer's genius for doing that.
Genius.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you have all of this bullshit that they're being fed, and yeah, they're gonna eventually cut corners because they think they're not doing it right. Business is the hardest thing I've ever done. People are like, oh, you have to be so happy and less stressed being out of law enforcement. I'm like, this is monumentally more stressful. It's different stress.
Yeah.
I had very stressful times in law enforcement, but this is the most stressful thing I've ever done. And anybody in business, when I talk to somebody who's in real business, big business, right, making lots of money, they're like, oh yeah.
And it never gets less stressful, really.
Just wait.
No, it's just different stress.
They're like, just wait. It gets worse.
Yeah.
Wait till you make this much money.
Well, and you
wait
can't
till
even.
you do this.
It's hard to explain unless you've actually been there. So people that don't go through it, you can't. It's like having a kid. You can't understand the joys of having a kid until you have a kid. There's no way to verbalize how it feels.
100%.
And it's the exact same situation with business. You don't understand what it takes until you take it, and it's. I went 18 months without a paycheck, digging fence holes again. You know what I mean? Freaking doing construction just to make shit work.
Wow.
Like that's not glamorized. I've never heard anybody talk about that. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not easy. I think 5% of business becomes successful. 5. Well, if it was easy, why is only 5?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 5's not a very big percentage.
It's, it's so important, especially for younger, or even when I say young entrepreneurs in their journey, right?
Anybody under the age of 40.
Yeah. I mean, you can be an entrepreneur whenever you want.
Of course.
So young in your entrepreneurial journey is to make sure, because you can draw so much inspiration, and you need to, from people who have been in business. I think it's a prerequisite to be successful in business to study those who have been successful, but you have to make sure that you're studying the right people and you're absorbing the right message. And the people that are telling you the right message are saying it's hard. And it's not like, oh, it's hard, don't do it. It's hard, take pride in it, because it's going to be one of your greatest accomplishments. You're going to have to put in a tremendous amount of work, but just like anything that's hard, you should never shy away from challenge.
Chase the hard.
Embrace it. Like, take pride that you're taking up something that 95% of people probably won't even try. I mean, this country used to be a country of people who were self-employed in some degree or another. And it's completely been flipped upside down to an extreme at this point, where most people don't even consider business as a viable option until they've run the corporate route and just
so
beat themselves into the dirt. And I think that goes for everybody. I mean, you were a police officer, you were working a union job, I was working corporate gyms. So you get to a point where you're like, there's got to be something else. But you've got to take pride in the fact that you're taking up one of the most challenging things that you'll ever do. And that makes it, if you go in with that mindset and you go and listen to people who are not afraid to show to tell you the truth, you will be successful.
That chase the hard concept is something that Jade, right back here behind the cameras, said yesterday. So yesterday I went through the whole day. I slept about 2.5 hours because I had early meetings. I was out late the night before. I had early meetings. I had international phone calls like 3:30 in the morning. So like
that's always fun.
Yeah. So I'm up early and I'm like, well, 4:35 starts coming around. I'm like, well, screw it. I'm awake now. There's no point going to bed. I had another podcast at 10 in the morning yesterday, and I mean, yesterday we had one of the most productive days that I've had in all week. So, and I'm exhausted. And I'm like, I think maybe I'm psychotic, or, which we all, entrepreneurs are psychotic. We're just going to be honest. I'm like, maybe I'm psychotic, or maybe I just thrive when I'm under that pressure. And Jade says, she's like, chase the hard. That's what you're thriving in. And I'm like, man,
that's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
It just hits. You know what I mean? It just hits. One of the guys that you know him, I think you know him, and you obviously work with him, First Form, right?
Yeah.
With Andy. Yeah. How long did it take Andy Frizilla, who is now very, very wildly wealthy and successful? By the way, his car collection is sick. I can't wait to go up there someday and go visit him. I want to see his.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I want to see his car collection. That's what I'm interested in. I'm a huge car guy, and Andy and I see eye to eye on that level.
Yeah, you definitely do. Yeah.
But how long did it take him to get there? He didn't pay himself for years. Years owning those supplements.
I mean, they barely made any, like the first couple of years of Supplement Superstore, there wasn't even any money to pay themselves with. Like even if they wanted to. Like it was a grind. And that's one of my favorite things about Andy. Andy's one of the greatest guys I know, for sure. Very close friend, but he keeps it real for people. so that they can get there. You know, those are the people that you should really be focusing on, because those are the people that are going to show you the path.
Yeah.
You know, you go into something with the expectation that it's going to be easy, you're going to get your head knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like soldiers going into battle and just being like, we're going to mop the floor with them. You know, the SEALs don't drop in anywhere and underestimate their enemy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go in preparing for the absolute worst.
There's no positive going in thinking that. You know,
you go in prepared for it to be the most challenging thing ever, and then when those challenges come, you're more equipped to handle them. You know, you're more equipped to go 18 months without a paycheck from your own business.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you'll figure it out. You'll figure out where your food's going to come.
Yeah. But if you go into your business expecting to pull money from it day one, I mean, you might be able to, but your business won't go very far, or it'll never go very high. Yeah. You know, you'll always be pulling money out of it, and there will never be any room for expansion or growth or opportunities for it, because you're always going to be on the hamster wheel.
Yeah. One of my favorite conversations I have multiple times a year is with accountants or lawyers. I'm sure yours too.
Yeah.
You love accountants and lawyers.
They're
like
real
all of us do. Yeah. I swear to God, I pay them all more than I can ever pay myself, because it just costs that much
money. As long
money.
as they're my accountant and my lawyer, I like them.
Yeah, right.
There's a little better conversations than somebody else's lawyer. Yeah.
True. But, you know, when I had these accounting meetings, I think it was last year or the year before, and I was like, hey, you know, because I pay myself a meager salary. I also make money off several other things. You know, the clinic thing is not my only venture. So I pay myself a relatively meager salary, and I'm like, hey, if I wouldn't have reinvested all of this shit back into the companies and clinics and software and all this stuff, how much could I have paid myself? He's like, well into the millions. And I'm like,
son of a.
Wow, I was happy about that. But I mean, like, fuck yeah.
If you don't have to, man.
I could have been a millionaire. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking in my head. But that's never been my prerogative. My prerogative, like, I'm cool with living a comfortable living.
Yeah.
Do I like making money? Of course. I'm a businessman. I love making money. I love nice things, you know, but I would never have shot myself in the foot from a business perspective to pay myself more money to get flashy bullshit at the detriment of the company. Yeah. That's what so many young entrepreneurs do.
The long game, and some people have a hard time seeing that the long game.
Well, so many entrepreneurs don't do that. Mm-hmm. How long ago could you have bought your McLaren?
Probably 2.5 years ago, I guess.
Why did you wait till now?
I wanted to be to a point where the money coming out for the McLaren didn't faze me. I didn't see it. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, it's not something I like cars, don't get me wrong, but it's not something that is like gets me going by any means. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's just more the thing that I could do it. And I've always wanted, the fact, to buy a supercar is just it's an accomplishment of mine. And I am all in. I'm all about just hitting goals and trying to overcome, because it's not the fact that I have a McLaren, it's the fact that I can.
Yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And that's bigger for me than anything. And it's kind of cool that people told me that I couldn't do it, kind of rubbing their face a little bit. I like doing that a little bit too, so you know what I mean.
I got a lot of that when I left law enforcement. I got a lot of, you're going to fail, you'll be back. A lot of that. Yeah. Cops do not like when cops leave. I don't know what that's about.
Because you're going above them, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of people get uncomfortable when they see other people doing what they probably want to do, but are scared to do or are hesitant to, because it's not easy. You had a pension. You have if you do the stretch, you'll be all right. You'll never be where you are today.
Oh, I heard so many people are like, "Wait, are you vested yet?" I'm like, "No, I vest in a year." Because I was at like 12 years, but 2 different agencies. Yeah. So I need another year or maybe 2 to like, just wait till you get vested.
Now you're an idiot.
I'm like, vested for what? Like, for what? So I can get a little bit of a pound. I'm like, no, I'm going to
go loser's mindset, because that's your fallback plan. You know what I mean?
It's just if you have aspirations to do something. I'm not knocking anyone that does a full career in any civil service or in any business.
Absolutely.
And gets a pension if that's what you want to do. But
it's just not what you wanted.
There's a lot. It's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
So when I was like, all right, this is not what I wanted. I want to go do something bigger for myself. I want to make more of an impact. I want to do things that, maybe drive me. Right. And then when I have these people in the same industry, like, you're going to fail, you're an idiot. You did that. I'm like, Oh man, it drives you a little bit though, right?
Oh, that's the thing. Like if they were smart, they wouldn't say that, because that just pisses me off even more. When I'm pissed off, I do way better work. So it's, don't. I mean, all right, you're saying it. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, so one of my business mentors, Patrick Bet-David, you guys both know who he is.
Yeah.
So I had a call with him yesterday, but I speak with him once a month. I'm going to the Kentucky Derby with him, so that's gonna be super fun, you know. But like when he talks about it, he's like, I love when people doubt me. He's like, I loved it, you know. I mean, he is the American dream story right there. Yeah. I mean, the guy came from Iran, you know, war-torn country, you know, with his father. He's in the military. You know, people don't realize that Patrick Bet-David served in the military. The guy was in the Army. He's a badass. So served in the military, started an insurance company, took a massive, what is that, 8-9-figure exit? Yeah. Several $100 million.
A lot of commas.
A lot of zeros. Yeah. So he took a massive monetary exit. But I mean, like when people look at him now with like all of the social media stuff and his YouTube channel and everything like that, he planned that before he ever made his first YouTube video. I don't know if people realize that. Yeah. You know, so like talking
doesn't surprise me.
No, what with him?
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote this book, Your Next 5 Moves.
Yeah, there you go.
that guy's 15 moves ahead.
Yeah, I don't think people understand like how many guys like that on the big. Like we talked with Andy quite a bit, and he's like, everything that you don't think is on purpose is intent. It's like that with intent. Everything that we had a meeting with him, I don't know, 6 months ago, whatever it was, and just the stuff that you think is just everyday normal function. No, there's an intention behind everything that dude does, and I'm willing to bet that's probably very similar to most very successful guys like that. That you think it's just some natural thing. No, it is. Everything they do is with intent, and that's the biggest thing.
No, you don't get here by accident. No. It's not. You know, it's not some. I mean, I'm sure there's a 0.001%. You know, of people who stumble into massive success, but for the most part, you don't get here by accident. It's you know, and it's one of the things I love most about being in business is it's a 24/7 job. You know, it's not a 9 to 5. Like you don't escape the 9 to 5. You inherit the 24/7.
Yeah.
I think that's
people
amazing.
Screw that up in their head.
Yes.
You can work
whenever you want to.
What?
Yeah.
No,
people don't realize. Yeah. People don't realize like entrepreneurship. Like no, you don't get to work less. Maybe you get to a level where
you work differently.
You work differently.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I take a month off pretty much every year now, only for the last couple of years, but now I can afford and I'm able to take a month off. I go to Croatia, visit my family. My father lives over there. I have thousands of family members over there in Croatia and Bosnia. So I can go in the month of August and I can visit my entire family, and the clinics are okay. Our businesses are okay. Everybody's okay. Do I still check an email here and there? Do I still deal with maybe a problem? Somewhat. You know, I'm always thinking about it.
I can never do detach. I'm terrible.
Well, it's very.
That's a learned skill. I think
I'll do it for like one day, maybe every 6 months. Where, you know, I like to go to North Georgia. I like to hike, so I'm a big hiker. I go to North Georgia. Blue Ridge Mountains are my favorite place. I will buy a cabin there very soon. But I go and hike, and I will go find cabins that are very, very remote. I want no houses around me. I want no internet. I want 0 cell phone signal. But the reason no internet, so I can unplug it, right? It's going to have Wi-Fi, of course. But if I need to detach completely, I will just unplug the Wi-Fi. You can't reach me. That's the coolest thing ever.
There's no option. Not too bad.
But I mean, you know, that's the idea of a free day. I'm big on coaching too. I love talking to people. Like I'm learning from you guys as I talk to you. I'm sure after this podcast, when we sit down and talk some business, you know, and eat some dinner, we're probably going to just absorb from each other the whole time.
I love it.
You know, but like I took a course for a year. It was through Strategic Coach. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dan Sullivan.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Again, I don't read, by the way. I'm completely fucking dyslexic, and I can't read the written word. I graduated college cum laude, never reading a book. I had
pretty impressive.
Well,
I can't.
Cum laude is impressive, but without reading a book is.
I'm really good at negotiating, and then, so I had to negotiate with my professors to basically have conversations with me, and I had to debate them. And then when I have a conversation with somebody and I debate them, or when I hear something, so I do use Audible books, right? So I use Audible. When I do that, I can retain the information. So I basically convince my professors I have to have conversations. I'm not passing this class. So I negotiated with them. I've been doing that since I was a little kid. Apparently I negotiated with my mother to send me to kindergarten early. at 4 years old instead of 5, which is why I graduated at 17. Again, I have an issue probably with that.
It's working out for you though, man. Is it really an issue at this point? There's worse issues to have.
So the Dan Sullivan thing, he's got a couple books, and he has a strategic coach program. Couple books, anybody that's listening, and for you guys, Who Not How. Awesome book. And Dan Sullivan, he's out of Canada, but the other guy, Ben Hardy, Dr. Ben Hardy, is a psychologist, I believe, by trade, but he's an author, lives here in Orlando. So Who Not How, excellent book. And the other one is, 10X is better than 2X. So, but his concept his concept of free days, he is big on really maximizing your time. Like, how many of us truly work 8 hours a day? Like nobody on the fucking planet works for 8 hours straight. Yeah. You work for maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, and the rest of it's kind of you're fucking around, right? Yeah. So he's like,
as my staff, of course, they don't do that. But.
No, nobody would do that. No. Nobody is ever doing that. So when you're looking at it from that perspective, from an entrepreneur perspective, if you can truly focus your day into 4 hours, or break it up, hours or whatever, and then give yourself free days, you're able to recharge because our brains are wired. Entrepreneurs are different. Yeah. So this is an entrepreneur coach. So he is coaching entrepreneurs to understand that they need recharge time. Yeah. Yeah. So these free days where you get to disconnect, whether it's a maximum disconnect, whether it's a partial disconnect, whatever, will save you a lot of time and stress later on.
I agree.
It's an awesome concept.
Yeah. So and you learn to work better in that time. Like it may not be at first, if you're just trying something like that, you may not be as efficient. But if you get used to being like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Everything else is gone to like, I mean, we live in a distracted world, and this is something that I work on every day. Like I've gotten to the point where my phone has to be, it can't be at the desk with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm so distracted.
You'll instinctively pick it up. It's crazy.
And 20 minutes later, you'll be completely off task. Not, you're trained.
Where am I? What's going on?
Or I blocked out. Your train of thought, not only did you waste 20 minutes, but your train of thought is completely ruined. It's going to take you a couple minutes to get back in the zone. I am learning that I work better when I can have just a little bit of time to just do everything I need. Don't call, text, nothing, turn it all off, do it. And then when I'm done, the product winds up being better because there's nothing, when I get in that flow state, getting back into it after I'm knocked out, you're just burning time. Yeah. And the more you do that, every time you pick up that phone, whatever it is, you're
stopping momentum. You got to start back over again. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the same.
That's huge
for everything. Momentum's huge in just about everything you do.
Yeah.
And you start and stop, and you might be up for 4 hours and get a half hour worth of work because half the time is slowing down or speeding up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the main thing that we all agree on, everybody, I hope everybody gets from this podcast, for anybody that's an entrepreneur, anybody that's getting into anything that they think will be easy, even the most skilled thing that you have about you, if you go after it, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be extremely difficult, even if you're excellent at it.
Absolutely.
And maximizing that gift that you have is going to yield you just so much. I mean, ridiculous. You know what I mean?
A lot harder than you think it is, and take a lot longer than you think it's going to. Plain and simple.
That's it. Yeah. And don't look for easy routes. Don't look for, don't look for anything to be half-assed. Yeah. I'm full ass all the way, and into the situation, full ass. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're already in the infancy of your company, whatever it may be, and you're already looking for half-ass solutions or cutting corners, man, just give up. If your excitement doesn't override, not even want to do it half-ass, just give up now. Because in 2 years, I can guarantee you that excitement is going to be completely gone, and you're going to do complete dog shit work. And it's
the old motivation versus discipline.
It's the exact same thing. But that's going to run out eventually. So if you're only a year in and you're already kind of doing half-ass shit,
I have a question for you guys. So I have mixed views on this. Is it better for someone to focus on an industry, a task, a job, whatever it is, for money? Is it better for someone to focus on something that they know they can make money at, like let's say the industry is flourishing, or is it better for someone to focus on passion?
Man, that's actually like a tough question because this wasn't my passion.
Sure.
This wasn't even something I was very knowledgeable of. And I followed my passion for years. And not that I have any regrets about that, but I wound up at a place where I no longer loved what I was doing anymore. And I knew I could make money at it, but it didn't turn out to be everything that I had envisioned it, because I had all these, I'm going to open this and this and this and this. And I got there. And again, not that I was unhappy, but I don't know. I think it's really because Scott would say the exact opposite. Scott followed his passion, and it's the best thing he's ever done.
And that's why I asked, because there's two different perspectives here.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, I'll be honest. Is my passion building medical clinics?
Probably not.
Yeah. Probably not. Do I enjoy it? Am I passionate about the topic because it's very close to me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've dealt with these issues and I see how many people I'm helping. Is that my ultimate passion? I don't think so. Do I happen to be good at it? Yeah. I was good at being a cop. But could that have been a passion? I don't know. So it's like, that's a question where I get people asking me that question on social media all the time. And I get people asking me on, you guys familiar with Monect?
No.
I would love for you guys to both get on Monect. I'll connect you with
that's the thing I was actually about the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Patrick Bet-David's. It's like basically the way he described it when he first conceptualized it was connect for a minute with high-level people, high-level experts and entrepreneurs and things like that. And I mean, like, there's people making like major money, like to get like a text conversation where it's like to answer a text message with Patrick is like $1,000.
Yeah.
But the guy is so monumentally busy, it makes sense. I feel like that's
right. If you ask the right questions, it'll be a very useful tool no matter who you ask.
I'm gonna link you guys with my Monect people. I'd love for you guys to get on there as experts, because I think you guys would really thrive on there. And I think people could really get something out of it.
Absolutely, man.
But following your passion do I think it's good? Yes. I will say people need to have a realistic vision of what their passion is.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Did you ever watch Moneyball?
Yeah.
Okay, great movie, right?
Fantastic movie.
And great story. Mm-hmm. So Billy Beane, a lot of people don't realize he was a baseball player, right? He actually played professional baseball. And he was a college prospect to the point where they're like, he is the next thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He is the MLB. This guy was a perfect ball player on paper in college. He gets through the MLB, gets a shitload of money, huge contract, ends up going nowhere. He just doesn't, it's a dud.
Yeah.
And like all of these experts were like, he is going to be baseball. And he ends up not doing it. And like his career ends up fizzling, ends up being a coach. And then look what happens in Moneyball. He develops this concept, which is basically revolutionized what baseball is now and how baseball is measured. And he did that. So his passion was baseball. Yeah. His passion would be a ball player.
Just not playing it. Yeah.
But he pivoted. Yeah. He stayed in baseball and he pivoted in the same industry. So like when let's say I'm super passionate about basketball. First of all, I'm not even that tall. I'm 6'3", but I'm not.
Easy on the I'm 5'8" with my big shoes on.
So I'm not tall enough to be a tall NBA player. No. I don't jump very high. I'm a white guy. I'm a white European guy. I'm sorry. I'm not that good at basketball. It is what it is. So, if I had a major passion for it, like people beat themselves down when they're like, oh, I will never get there. Just pivot a little bit. Mm-hmm. You may not be able to be that ball player, but maybe you'll be a coach. Maybe you'll be a scout. Maybe you'll do this. Maybe you'll get so wealthy that you will own your own NBA team. Maybe that's your pivot.
Yeah.
Find a wealth thing, Patrick Bet-David never wanted to be an insurance guy. He didn't want to own an insurance company. Yeah. He used that as his money driver to get to where he is now. Yeah. He wants to own a media company. He wants to change what media is. So, when I see people with passions, I'm like, follow your passion. I love the idea. Be realistic with yourself, And I mean, like, you may never want to leave your medical clinic stuff. This may be your thing, right? Which is amazing.
I don't think I will, because I think, honestly, if I was not doing it, I would be doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd be helping coaching people do it, or helping people open clinics or wherever it may be, because I know a hell of a lot of what not to do, because I screwed up virtually everything for the first 2 years.
Same.
You know what I mean? So it's my thing is, if I can find something I would do for free and find a way to monetize it, that's what I want to do. And that's what I was kind of doing it previously to open my clinics. Obviously, when I was younger, my goal wasn't to open a testosterone clinic. I wouldn't think that was even an option at that point. You know what I mean? But I really do like helping people in various different ways, and this happens to be one of the ways. And I actually love doing this anyway. So it's part of me. You know what I mean? So
that's amazing, man. I love where you guys come from Summit Rejuvenation. Both of your backgrounds are extremely interesting to me, and we're probably going to get more into the nitty gritty when we have dinner after this.
Yeah.
But I think that people need to understand that there are industries out there that are extremely impactful to people, to individuals.
Yep.
I think the industry that we're in, from Summit Rejuvenation to Aspire Rejuvenation to what is being done from good clinics like ours, needs to be talked about more. We need to spread this information. Core Medical. I mean, Mel Chansey and Sid, because they're great guys. They do a good job. Very focused in the military too.
I love that.
Like when you have these clinics that are doing a really good job, all of us need to be high-fiving each other and helping each other get rid of the bullshit bad actors, and let's further what our true purpose is in helping people. We're not going to step on each other's toes. I mean, if I have a guy in your area, I don't have a clinic there. Do go to him. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Why am I going to do that? Why am I going to try to even want to step on someone's toes who's already doing what?
Man, we're all in the same game. We're for the same purposes.
We're scraping 0.25% of the population. Like
and that population is going to continue to the market population is going to just continue to grow. This is not going away.
Yeah. I laugh when they're like, "Oh, you guys have a lot of patients." I'm like, "There's that many people within a quarter mile of here right now." And there's, you know what I mean? There's 100,000 people that could be patients within a mile right here,
right now.
So exactly. So it's like it's crazy. Like we do not need to be fighting each other. We need to be collaborating. We need to be doing these things. We need to be spreading good information and doing the right thing for people.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah, it's the old rising tide raises all the ships.
Yeah,
I think that's just a good approach in business overall. Like when you see other people doing the right thing, that should be celebrated. That should be pointed out. That shouldn't try to be twisted and manipulated or like hidden in any. In any regard, just because you're like, especially when it's like when you're a smaller fish in the pond, like there's this, and it's just a narrow-minded mindset or a narrow mindset where like, oh man, I can't give this guy props because I'll lose out somehow. I'll lose out.
It's mind-boggling to me, man. I don't understand that.
Yeah, or even acknowledging the big guys. You don't have to. One of the things that we have. Like our policy is like we don't, people will come from other clinics all the time, and I usually talk to a lot of our newer patients because we try to answer questions even before they come in. And some of them will be coming from other places, and they'll have a lot to say, and all I'll ever say to them is just we do things differently here.
That's it,
and that's it, and that mindset has gotten us so far because I think whether or not they realize it at the time, people appreciate that, and it's just, again, it's good. It's a good attitude to have. If you've got all that sort of negative energy in you, you're going to attract more of it. It's just, when you approach this, I mean, it's a serious thing, not to say lighthearted in the sense that you don't care, but when you approach it with this positive, more lighthearted, more open, more flexible mindset, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get more openness, more opportunities, more flexibility, and more options, because business it's not a singular line. There's not a one way to do it. Like going back to your question, passion or profit, whatever it is. Both of those answers are correct.
Yeah.
And that's especially for, again, like young, newer entrepreneurs. The question is a good question, but the answer is that yes. It's yes. It's not one or the other. It's yes.
Yeah.
Because for one person, it may work out beautifully that they just follow their passion project, or you may run your passion to the point that there's a dead end. And if you don't learn that sometimes you do have to pivot, you're going to be at that dead end forever, running into the same obstacles or just not hitting your true potential.
Yeah.
Again, I thought if you would have asked me 5 years ago before I bought my first gym, that what did I want to do? It was I wanted to be a gym owner. That was it. And I became a gym owner, and I said, I don't want to be a gym owner. It turns out I love this. It's fun, but I don't see my way forward in this in the way that I want, in like living the life that I want. I don't see it here.
Yeah.
And I stayed in the health industry. I made a pivot.
It was a pivot. That's
and
all
that
it was.
That was the best pivot I ever made.
Well, I think people wildly underestimate in order to find something you want to do, finding something you don't want to do is it's a very good way to find out what you want to do.
Yeah.
But and it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing because I guarantee you learn so much business shit and what to do, what not to do from the gym that's going to bleed over into other aspects of life. But people are so afraid to do something, then all of a sudden, well, what if I don't like doing it long term? Well, if you don't like doing it long term, then you found out exactly what you don't want to do, and that's a very positive thing to know for a fact. You don't want to do this no more because you can shift your 100% focus somewhere else.
100%. And like, what people are afraid of is failure.
Yep.
People are afraid to fail. So the concept that is always in my brain and the concept that I tell everybody, and I say this on podcasts all the time, other people's podcasts, is I don't believe in failure. I believe in either winning or learning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the only thing that I believe
failure
in.
is like the acceptance of whatever, like the dead end.
That's it.
And that's saying there's nothing else to do.
And there is no true dead end.
Yeah, no.
If you understand that you failed for a specific reason and you can learn from that failure, did you fail? No, you just figured out that doesn't work.
Don't do that again.
Yeah,
you're good to go.
And what's funny is, people have this mindset, and it's like you just have to look at it a little differently. Again, I like to speak to like younger, newer entrepreneurs because I still consider myself very, very new.
Sure.
You have so much time, but you've got very little time.
Yeah.
So
don't waste it.
Yes. So you have time to make mistakes. You don't have time to keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Or do nothing.
Yes,
you don't have time to do nothing.
Yeah, like you've got time to start something. One of the questions I get a lot, people are like, what should I do to start? And they want to know all this technical. Just start. Just start. Like, oh, what should and they're asking all these detailed questions where they're creating these roadblocks, and it's like just start. Well, I don't want to mess. You're going to mess up. Yeah. You're going to mess up.
Do you have an LLC? Well, no. Well, let's go and start there. Yeah. You haven't even started anything, so you really don't want to start. You're just looking for excuses. Well, I can't do this because of X, Y, Z.
Well, they get into that analysis paralysis, 100%.
Right? Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. And you don't. That's the one thing that you don't have time for. Yeah. Is indecision. Of having no momentum. You could have all the momentum in the world and hit a brick wall. As long as you get back up and start moving in the other direction or whatever it is, you're fine. You're totally fine. It's if you hit that wall and then you back up and you go right into it again.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And again and again.
They hurt after a while. They hurt. Yeah.
What's a closing thought for each of you, for everybody that watches this podcast? And I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate you guys being here for this. I mean, this is amazing. Yeah. What closing thoughts do you have for anybody? Yeah.
Man, for me, if in terms of business, like I said it, and I say it over and over again, it's the best decision you'll ever make. But you've got to realize that you're choosing the hard path, and embrace it, love it, and take it seriously.
Yeah,
take it seriously, and it's you will have a life like you never imagined, maybe you imagined it, but you'll have a life like you never thought you could have, because all it takes, and the first step is always the hardest. Stepping out and having faith that you're going to push all your chips in on yourself. You're going to bet heavy, and that you have the faith to say, if this doesn't work, I will find a way to make it work. Mm-hmm. And if you have that mindset going into business, no matter how long it takes you, you will get to places that you can only dream of.
Yeah. Awesome.
Like you said earlier, man, just get started. Stop talking. Start doing. It sounds short, simple, and easy, but it really is. You can ask a million questions. You can know every single aspect of whatever business you're going into, and that means absolute dog shit if you don't do anything. It doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? I don't care how intelligent you are with XYZ, stocks, markets, whatever the hell you're going into. If you don't do anything about it, ideas don't mean shit. You got to execute. So
I saw that in the personal training business. People coming out of college as trainers, or
do something. Something's better than nothing. Just do something. If you fail, cool. Don't do that again. Do something else.
Where can they find you guys on social media, and websites, anything? Where can people find you?
I'm at Scott Otey, SCOTTOTEY.
And I'm Ian Smith Fitness. You can follow our clinic at Summit Rejuvenation.
Awesome. And your website for Summit Rejuvenation?
It's getsummitHRT.com.
Fantastic. Awesome. Where are your locations at?
So we got all in St. Louis. So we got
St. Louis, awesome.
we got 3 of them in St. Louis. So we're doing telemedicine. We're doing 48 states now.
We got good old California and New York.
We fired 2 because we're being a little difficult. So.
California and New York are paying the ass. I'm gonna open brick and mortars there. Yeah. To get over this bullshit.
Yes.
But it's a pain in the ass. And we'll probably talk about that together later.
I'll keep it nice.
Yeah. And California and New York are different. Weird.
Yeah. Checker.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate both of you. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing from a personal and a business perspective. I hope you guys follow them. Please, we'll have all of their stuff in the bottom in the links. And thank you guys for watching.